Hi, this is Vonnie Rivera with Pray Ask Gifts, and thank you so much for joining us on our 30-day challenge on aging gracefully. We are on a mission to learn what God says about aging, to apply it to our lives, and to age the way He says we can. He says we can flourish. He says we can be productive. We can have strength and spiritual vitality our entire lives. This is based on Psalm 92, and we'll be looking at this verse in more detail in the coming days. But today, we're actually going to look at what does the world say versus what does God say. So what our world admires is three things: youth, attractiveness, and intelligence. And you can see an example of this in Daniel 1, chapter 1, verse 4. And the situation here is the Israelites were taken into captivity by Babylon, and Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king, chose people from Israel to serve in his court, young men. And he chose them based on three things. Were they young? Were they attractive? And were they intelligent? So that's what the world looked for back then. That's what the world looks for today. But what does God say? God actually looks at our hearts, and he's checking to see if we have a strong desire for him. We see this in 1 Samuel 16, verse 7, where Samuel the prophet is going to anoint the next king of Israel. And he goes to the house of Jesse, and he sees Jesse's oldest son, and he says, hey, this guy's tall, this guy's good looking, this guy's got to be the guy. But here's what God says: look not on his appearance or the height of his stature, for I've rejected him. For the Lord sees not as a man sees. For the man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Okay, so there we go. Sometimes a handsome face can hide a very ugly soul. So we never want to look at that as the primary indication of a person or their character. But interestingly enough, 5 verses later, Samuel has gone through all the sons of Jesse, hasn't found the one he's supposed to anoint, and he says, hey, is there anyone else left? And they forgot about the youngest son. He's out tending the sheep, David. So they call him in, and we see in 1 Samuel 16:12, David's really handsome. So he was glowing with health, had a fine appearance and handsome features. And the Lord said, rise and anoint him. This is the one. So it's not like you can't be attractive. You can. It's just the most important thing is your heart. Do you have a heart for a God that really desires him and really wants to obey him? Because that's what David had. So our task for today is a spiritual task. What we're going to do is just pray as often as it comes to your mind today. Pray that God will show you the hearts of people, that you will look at people, I will look at people, we will look at people the way God looks at them, and that we'll also look at ourselves the way God looks at us. So we won't just be looking at our external appearance, we'll be looking at our hearts to see if we really love him and we really want to obey him. So that is the challenge for today. Again, I'm so glad you've joined us. I'm so glad you're here. In the chats, please put your thoughts on aging, your thoughts on today's assignment, anything God shows you. We want to learn from each other on this. And we will be back tomorrow looking more at Psalm 92 and how we can flourish. Thank you so much.